Hey guys, Dakota Diesel here, and today I want to talk about something that's going to occur in not just Thomas reviews, but possibly any other TV shows I decide to review in the near future. And mostly this is going to focus on episode reviews. If you've been watching my season reviews on Thomas the Tank Engine, you'll notice that there were some episodes that, even with some complaints I had, I still gave the episode a good episode rating. And with certain episodes like Break Fan, you'll notice that even with some of the positives I've had, I gave that episode a meh episode rating. And even Season 3 had a few episodes, while not terrible, and with some positives I had, some of the episodes still ended up as either meh or bad. I even had one person comment on my Season 2 review, saying that he thought Percy Takes a Plunge should have been a meh episode. And that's fine, I'm not saying he's wrong, but I gave it a good episode because, well, that's how I felt. It was a classic and a memorable episode to me. And again, you're free to disagree with me in my rating for a certain episode, but this does bring up a question. How do I actually review/rate an episode? Especially a certain episode where I'm not sure how to feel. Meaning, episodes where I have doubts on whether I should call it good, meh, or bad. I mean, with some episodes it's easy to say which one I like, and which episode I didn't like, but with certain episodes like Breakfan or Thomas, Percy, and the Mail Train, there's times where I'm not really sure how to feel about an episode, and I might have to watch an episode a few more times before I can give my final thoughts. So I thought for this video, I would at least give some information on how I rate a certain episode, and if the flaws in an episode are major enough to affect a rating, or if they're minor with no effect whatsoever. So first, how do I actually review and rate each episode? Well, first I would watch all the episodes of a certain season. Before, I would just watch an episode once and give my thoughts on them. However, I later found out that it's probably not a good idea, especially once I get to a season that I've never seen, or an episode I've never seen as well, and I felt it would be unfair to judge an episode if I just saw it once and just basically give a first impression. So starting with Season 3, I would watch all the episodes 3 times. The first time is what I call the first impression phase. In this, I would just watch the episodes fresh in my mind. I don't write my own thoughts on it yet, I just watch the episode, and after that, I would put each episode into my own ranking chart. And as I progress to the next episode, I put the next episode into the ranking chart, and I would either put that episode below the previous episode, on top, or somewhere in between. I usually do this because it helps me give some sort of idea on what rating I might give an episode when I rewatch it. Then, like I said, I'll rewatch the whole series again, but this time I will now watch them as a critic/reviewer, and this is now the time where I have to think about what rating should I give the episode. After I watch them a second time, I start to give them the rating I think they deserve. And here's where the middle comes into play. Like I said, with some episodes it's easy for me to call them good or bad for reasons. However, whenever I come across an episode where I'm not sure what to give them, I have 3 things I need to think about in order to give myself an idea on what rating I should give an episode. First off, I have to think of anything I like and didn't like about an episode. If there's an episode that has more good than bad, then chances are the episode might lead into a good episode. And if there's more bad than good, then it might fall into a bad episode rating. And if it's somewhere in the middle, then it might be a meh episode for me. The second thing I need to think about, and this one is mostly important to me, is how much did I enjoy the episode? Did this episode make me laugh, smile, or at least left a good impression on me? If so, then the chances are that the episode might get a low good episode or a high meh episode rating. Take for example my review on Terrence the Tractor. While I did have my criticisms on Terrence himself as a character, there were a couple of good things in the episode, and it did leave a smile and a good impression on me, that I still gave it a good episode rating. It wasn't the greatest, but it was at least a memorable episode to me. It's the same kind of feeling I got from Henry's Forest. Yes, there are moments in the episode that is a fair criticism, but it was just too sweet of an episode that I had to give it a good episode rating because I liked it so much. Which brings me to the opposite side. Even if I acknowledge that the episode had its good moments, if the episode doesn't do anything for me or it doesn't leave a good impression on me, then it's either going to get a bad or a meh episode rating. Take for example Thomas, Percy, and the Mail Train. While there were some good moments in the episode, it wasn't enough for me to call this a good episode. For whatever reason, this episode is just meh to me. There's nothing awful about it, but every time I watch it, it's just not that memorable. It always feels like something is missing with this episode. Honestly, I still stand by about Harold not needed for this episode. It was just a side plot that really had no purpose, and maybe if they got rid of Harold, then it might have got a good episode rating, but I doubt that would be the case. I just didn't find this episode that good enough for me to watch it again. It just felt meh to me. It was the same kind of feeling I had with the Tender Engines. Again, Tender Engines did have some good moments, but the story was just a complete and utter mess that it felt like it really did deserve a bad episode rating. Again, if you disagree with me, that's fine. You're allowed to think what you think on these episodes of what they should have gotten, but most of these episodes, like I said, I have to stick true to my rating and what I generally think of the episodes myself. Don't take them too seriously. Finally, after watching the episodes the second time, I will watch the episodes again one more time. And after watching each episode, I will write down my own thoughts on the episodes, what I like, didn't like, and what rating I felt the episode should get. This will also play into what I thought of the season overall as well. Of course, there are other things that can also affect an overall season, like the animation or the technical sides, but I really feel like that episodes play a major part on a seasonal rating. It doesn't really matter too much on how good from a technical standpoint a show could be. If you don't have that many good episodes, then more likely the season's going to fail because of the episodes themselves. And you'll see this once we get into later seasons and possibly other shows. So there you go. That's basically how I review and rate each episode of a certain show. Like I said, this video is not made to say I'm right and you have to agree with everything I say. No, it's not like that. You can agree and disagree with my rating of an episode all you want. If there's an episode you think I'm being unfair or it should have gotten a different rating, then that's fine. And who knows, maybe someday if I'm not doing anything, I might revisit some of these episodes and give them another chance. All this video really is just to explain myself and how I review an episode. Hopefully this will give you some idea on what you might expect for later seasons and other TV shows, because there are some shows I am planning on reviewing sometime in the near future. And as always, if you do have any other TV shows or movies, or even games you want me to take a look at, you can list them in the comments. So, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope this was informational enough for you. And until then, this is Sakura Diesel saying thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all at Season 4 of Thomas and Friends. Take care, guys.